Hi beautiful friends, welcome back to Sunita Makes Crochet Items. Today we're gonna make a soap sack. The Co-mingle soap sack to be exact. Right. Okay, so what I'm using today is the Cotton Sprouts Worsted Multi. There is 153 yards, which I did recake. And it's 100% cotton. The goal today is, and it's a medium 4 worsted, recommend hook size is a 5, which is what I have. The goal today is to get a soap sack that is 4 by 6. Yeah, 4 by 6. So let's get to it. Okay, we're going to start off with a slip stitch. What I like to do is to put a stitch marker on the hook. And we will chain 19. One, two, three, 4, 6. And 19. All right. And then I'm going to put another stitch marker on the hook. All right. So on the V sections, you're going to go ahead and skip this first stitch and single crochet back down the chain. You should have 18. One, sixteen, 17, and the one that you started with, 18. Okay, now you're gonna go back down the other side, 18 stitches. This one is usually the longest, so go back into that stitch. One, I like to move this over. And then this tail, just crochet over it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then you got this last stitch right here. That's 18. Okay, and then this tail that you are carrying, you can kind of cinch it so that it kind of closes up this crease here. So there you have it, row 1. You chain 19, single crochet back 18, and 18 around here, and you should have 36 stitches. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work on row 2, which is the setup row of the co-mingle stitch. And I'm going to go through this as slow as possible. Hold on one second here. Okay, so the first stitch here, which is where your stitch marker is, you're going to go ahead and move your stitch marker and bring it onto this stitch, just so you know where you started. You don't have to. Alright, so the co-mingle consists of 5 stitches, but really it's 3. So what you're going to do for the first stitch, which is this one here, you're going to bring your yarn to the front, go into the stitch, like so, and then you're going to pull the yarn through and do a single crochet, and it kind of brings you a stitch to the front. This is what I consider a purl stitch. And then in the next stitch, you're just going to do a single crochet. So that's 2. Now in the next 3 stitches, you're going to do 3 single crochets together, so kind of like a cluster. So you're going to go in, pull up a loop, hold, go in, pull up a loop, hold, go in, pull up loop, hold. You have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 4 and chain 2, and that's your 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you get to the last 2 stitches. So yarn to the front, just remember you already went into that stitch, so it's this stitch here, pull up a loop. I like to just hold that down and single crochet. And then do the cluster. Or yarn over and chain 2. So if you just bring your yarn this way, it could be easier than, moving back and forth. But just remember, don't go in the stitch you just came out of, go into the next one. And if you hold it down and twist and pull through. Single crochet in the next, cluster in the next 3, chain 2, single crochet. Okay, so it's going to take you to the middle of this stitch here. You can go ahead and take that out. And we're going to do a cluster. 1, 2, 3, chain 2. And I'm going to actually put the stitch marker back on this last stitch to keep things even, but you don't necessarily have to. If I can get it on there. Okay. And just do it again. Purl, single, cluster, purl, single, cluster, purl, single, and you're going to leave no, actually you don't have it. You will finish off with a cluster. 2 and 3 and chain 2. So now, because we've ended, you've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 co-mingles in the round. So now, basically, this just changed up from the other patterns that I did. But long story short, you're just going to repeat that row all the way around. So you end with a chain 2. You're going to automatically do a purl in this first leg here. Okay, and in the top of the single or the single crochet, you're going to do a single. So actually that was your purl stitch. You did a purl and a purl, a single and a single, and then you're going to do the 3 together in the first leg and then in the top of the chain. But I like to go in that back loop and then in the chain 2. So you should still have 4, chain 2. Now remember, purl in the purl, single in the single, and then cluster in the cluster. So in the first leg, on the top of the back loop. But if you can get through this, you can do that too. Just make it easier yourself. And then pull up a loop in the chain 2, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 2. And just repeat that all the way around until this gets to be about 5.5 inches. So purl in the purl, single in the single, and cluster on the first leg, top of back loop, and chain 2. 4 loops on your hook, chain 2, and repeat. Purl in the purl, single in the single, cluster in the cluster, and chain 2. One, 2, and just remember in the chain 2 space. There you have it. And we'll move the stitch marker up so I know what row I'm on. So that was row 2. I'll come back once I finish row 3. We're still doing the same thing. On my last cluster for row 3, so 1, 2, and in the chain 2 is 3. There you have it. Go into row 4, same thing. Let's just start to cuff. Purl in the purl, single in the single, cluster in the first stitch, the back stitch of the top, and the chain 2. 4 loops, yarn over, chain 2. So 1, purl, 2, single, 3, cluster, chain 2, that's 5. And just repeat. Purl, single, cluster, chain 2. Purl, single, cluster, purl, single, cluster, am I in the frame? Okay, so the last co-mingle is purl, single, cluster, and chain 2, and you're all done. That is row 4. I would suggest to keep doing this until you get to row 12. And I'll check back in. Take a second to measure. Oh, this should be 4 inches, but I don't have my tape measure. Look at the cotton sprouts. Has a tape measure right here, and that looks like it's right at 4 inches. Perfect. So keep going until you get to 6 inches. Well, actually 5 inches. Okay, let's just check in. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rows so far. We're just gonna see how about 3 inches. So another 9 rows. We should, well, actually, we only want to go to 5 inches. So another few rows. So keep going, and it should just be repetitive. It's after you chain 2, you purl in the purl. Just go in, kind of pinch that so it doesn't move, and then single, and then single here, and cluster, and then on the top of the chain. I do the back loop, but again, if you can get through both loops, by all means. Yarn over and go through 2, purl, single, cluster, sorry, one more. Okay, so just purl in the purl, single in the single, cluster on the leg, on the top of the chain, and then in chain 2. So 4 on your hook, yarn over, go through a 4 and chain 2, and repeat. So this is row 10. This purl is something that you have to kind of get used to, but I feel like it gets easier once you get going. I'm just going to do this row with you, and then I'll let you go back to getting comfortable and crocheting. When I come back, I'll show you how to finish it up. So we'll just check back in when we are at 5.5 inches on this. Okay, so let's just check in, see how far we got. So this is about 5 inches. So let's count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's do 2 more rows. So purl in the purl, single in the single, cluster into repeat. Come on. And the top stitch. 1 and 2. Okay. Measure it one more time. So about 5 1/4. So actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's stop here at 16. And basically we're going to single crochet all the way around. So we got 1, 2, 3. Let's just do 4. Come on. 5, 6. Oh, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So you just do a single in the purl, single in the single. On the first leg of the cluster, add 2 single crochets, and then we're going to skip the top, and then in the chain 2 do 2. Just repeat that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Into the purl stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 2 is 5 and 6. Okay. Let's measure again. Actually, it's 5.5. So what I'm going to do now, move this up, and we're going to mark double crochet in this first stitch. So that's your first double, chain 1. Oh, I just split it. So make a mark double, chain 1. I'm going to skip this one and do a double in this one. Chain 1 and repeat. Double in the next. Skip 1 double, chain 1. Skip 1 double, chain 1. Skip double, skip double, chain 1. Skip double, chain 1. Skip double. Wow, he's thirsty. Okay, so we just chain 1. This will be your last stitch. And this is your mark double. So we're just going to slip stitch to that stitch. And you should have let me count for you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 double crochets. Just measure now. Right at 6 inches. So really, you're done. But I like to just clean up this edge just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just do a row of single crochets in each stitch, kind of just cinch it up. So single in each of the chain 1 spaces. Oh, sorry. Come on. Oh, jeez. All right. And just slip stitch to that first one and fasten off. Sorry, making all that noise. Come on, needle, come off. Okay. So I like to just weave it in and down this double crochet. Just hide this tail. Okay. Oh, sorry again. And it was snip. Now, there you have it. It's 4x6. Double check again. Here to here is 4. And it's technically 6. We're close enough. It's a little bit over. But the next thing you'll do is to make the drawstring. There's so many ways you can do that. You can just do a regular chain of, I would say, 60. But I like to do the I-cord chain. So what I do with that, just pull out a long string, or a long tail I should say, and do a slip knot. Like so. And then I take my stitch marker and place it on this stitch. So you have your working yarn and you have your tail. Take the tail, go over the hook, or over the hook, and then you pull through with the working yarn. Okay, and just repeat that until you get enough chains that you need. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. My tail is getting short. 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. I got just enough for 45. And fasten off. And I like to tie these two together. Knot it. Alright, so with this stitch marker you got here, basically you're going to start from whatever side you want to. Go in the stitch and just go back and forth. Okay, and you come out the same way you went in. So then basically you have it like this. And what I like to do is take this tail, fish it through this hoop here. I mean, that hole is big enough, you can just get it in there. Okay, take this stitch marker off. And then just tie these two together. I mean, you could make it a little bit neater, but just do what you can. Okay. I like to just hide this a little bit more. Yep. Loop that and clean that up too. Oh, come on. Okay, well, it doesn't want to get fished in, so we're just gonna cut it. Okay. And then basically all you do is you put your soap in there and then you can cinch it up. Like so. Or you can do from whatever side you want. There you have it, my friends. This is a pretty yarn too. This was in the color Fruit Punch. Oop. Alright, thank you for watching. As always, love yourself so you can love everyone else. Have a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed this little makeshift tutorial. Take care, bye.